Hey jerks, how's it going? So today I'm going to do a little bit of a different video. My friends kind of make fun of me because I make chicken parm. I think they make fun of me mostly for calling it chicken parm and not chicken parmesan. But today I'm going to show you how to make chicken parmesan to charm the pants off any girl or guy, I guess. So if you follow these steps, if you make this the way I make it, it's basically as good as anything you're going to eat at Olive Garden or maybe your favorite Italian restaurant. I think it's restaurant quality, but anyway, let's get started. I'm going to tell you what you need to have first of all. Let's go through it. So for the actual cooking of the things, you're going to need a double boiler or whatever like that. That's for the pasta. You're going to need a fry pan. Non-stick is best. You're going to need a little tray, baking tray. You're going to need aluminum foil and spray pan. You need a pot holder because you're not an idiot. As far as the food goes, here's what you're going to need. Basically, you're going to need, this is thin cut boneless chicken breasts. I think it's skinless too. Yeah, it's probably skinless. So thin sliced is important. So you're going to need that. You need some form of pasta. I eat linguine, and I don't know, it depends on what you like, but linguine works with the timing that I'm going to tell you what. You need a little bit of salt. You need oil, some sort of oil. I use extra virgin oil. And then some sort of tomato sauce or whatever. I just use whatever's in a jar because I don't care. You can get super fancy and use this pesto stuff, but we're not going to be super fancy today. And then obviously you need some sort of Italian cheese. It can be provolone, but I just use like this Italian blend. I use some oregano as well. Oh, breadcrumbs. That's important. You need breadcrumbs. So your choice of breadcrumbs. And then you can have these sun-dried tomatoes. That's a bonus. And also, if you're a person that you're cooking for likes cheese on their stuff, you can use this shaky cheese. I don't. But so this is what you're going to need. Now let's get started on how to make it. Ah, crap. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to put some water in this pan. And you can use hot water, you can use cold water, it doesn't matter, but just put some fucking water in the pot. And I don't know, maybe 6 quarts. I don't even know what a quart is. Just put some water in a pot, it doesn't matter. Put this thing to the side for a while. You can put a little salt in your water. Some people, I guess, think that makes it heat up faster, something like that. I don't really know. Next, you're going to turn on your pan burner, turn it on high, and you're going to throw some of that oil in the pan. Some, whatever, I don't know. It's at this time that you can turn your oven on to 350, and you can even turn on this boiler here to mostly high. Everybody got that? You got all this? Put your oven on 350. Put some oil in your fry pan, and I don't know, turn that on high. Turn this on mostly high. Okay, so next step. We need to prepare the chicken. So you're going to need a little plate like this, and you need to put some breadcrumbs. Get this shit out of here. See, breadcrumbs. You're going to just put some breadcrumbs in the plate. And then you're going to get your chicken, and you can either do this with your hands if you want to, or you can do it with a fork. Doesn't really matter. You're just going to get the breadcrumbs all over this chicken. Now, some people use egg to try and get more of the breadcrumbs on the chicken. I say fuck that. I don't like egg. I don't want egg. Okay, so we're trying to get as much on here as possible. You're gonna make a mess, so just accept that. Obviously, if there's 2 of you, you're gonna be doing 2 of these. I am forever alone, so I make one. Okay, so breadcrumbs all over the chicken. Good job, everyone. Okay, so we're gonna hope that this gets really, really, really hot. We're not there yet. Vegetable oil gets really thin when it gets hot like that, and it's starting to steam a little bit, so we're ready. So this is the danger zone part.
Danger zone!
All we're gonna do is drop this right into the oil. You should hear the sizzle. Give it a little shake. Make sure oil gets all over it. Good. Okay, and that's gonna sizzle for about, I don't know, maybe 30 seconds you wanna let it sizzle. And then we're gonna flip it. We can check it real quick. You can see it's already browning a little bit. That's exactly what we wanna do. Give it a little shake. Let the oil kind of do the work for the breadcrumbs. You can even take more of your breadcrumbs and just sort of sprinkle it on top. You know, just fancy. If a girl's watching you do this, definitely do this step because you look like a chef when you're doing stuff with your actual hands. So do that. So now we've got some smoke coming off of here. We're gonna drop that down to about medium high, just like that. And we're gonna flip this again. You're seeing nice brown. So you're not gonna let it get, you know, black or something like that. While this is happening, you want to get your pan right here. You're gonna put some aluminum foil. I'm gonna pull that right off the heat just because I feel like it's gonna burn. Not burning yet. So you're gonna do that with your, whoops. Can you see what I'm doing? You're putting aluminum foil in there. You're going to spray it with Parm so it doesn't stick. That's important. We're going to look at this again, make sure it's not brown. It's not black, it's brown. That's what we're looking for. So, you seeing that? Oh, look how delicious that looks already. So, the reason why we're doing this is we're kind of sort of searing the outside to give it some crispiness. And but that's not actually cooking the chicken. We're going to be cooking the chicken in the oven, and we're going to do that in just a couple of minutes here. So, you know, if she's watching, do one of these. We're going to flip this again. The other side is a little more done, so I'll keep it on that end. It's important not to use too much oil because you don't want it to get like oil burnt. I'm not really sure what that means, but it sounded good when I said it. There we go. Oh, that's looking amazing right there. I need to show you a close-up of that. Look how good that looks. Delicious. All right, so we are almost at 350 on the oven, and as soon as we are, we're going to drop that in there. So I'm going to just take it off of that heat. I've already turned off the burner, but it's still kind of cooking on the heat there. In fact, I'll just go ahead and pull it off there and drop it onto there. And it's 310, that's close enough. So we're going to drop this in the oven now. This is almost ready for our pasta. I use about this much for me. There. Stick it in there. I'm going to give it a little swirl to make sure nothing gets stuck right away. Once the pasta is in the pot, you're going to cook it for 8 minutes. Ocho. All right, back to our pasta. We're going to give it another little...
8 is great. It makes me shout, hooray!
Little stirring just to make sure it's not all bunched up. It's really supposed to be 8 minutes with a rolling boil, which means an actively boiling pot, but this just means it's going to be a little more al dente. That just means undercooked. If you've never boiled water before, this is what it looks like. We can take a peek in there to see. Nope, it's fine, it's fine. I'll show you what's happening though. Oh, that looks delicious, doesn't it? I guess make sure that this doesn't boil over. Not that it would, but... Now Now the timing is kind of important in this, and I've sort of perfected the timing situation because of what has to happen with chicken parmesan and the pasta. So if you follow along these instructions, you're going to be just fine. So we've got 4 minutes left on that. This is still cooking nicely under there, and now we just wait for 4 minutes. This is the boring part because you don't really do anything. This might be the time when you have that existential conversation with your loved one that you're making chicken parmesan for, and really evaluate where your relationship's going and what you're going to get in return for this amazing meal that you're making them. Yeah, I think the negotiations would take about 3 minutes. Alright, so we're getting close to 2 minutes. Now when you got 2 minutes left on the spaghetti or the pasta or whatever, you're going to take your chicken parm out. You're going to look at which side has the crispier side to it. Well, let's just do it. So I'm gonna take this out, and we're gonna look to see which has the crispier side. And it appears that it's gonna be this top side. So that's when you take your spaghetti sauce, and it should, on the chicken parmesan itself, it should really probably be tomato sauce. And you're just gonna really put some on it, just like that. Smear it around a little bit. There you go. You're gonna take your cheese, whatever cheese it is. You're gonna drop a healthy portion of cheese on top of it. Again, use your hands for this. Let her see you using your hands. Trust me. Alright, then you can put oregano on to taste. I like a really strong oregano taste. You could even put a little garlic on there, but that's only because I'm forever alone and I'm not going to be kissing anybody later. So I don't mind a little garlic on my shit. I'm going to put a little more cheese right over top, just like that. Good. Alright. And then this goes back in the oven. Ta-da! This now has 40 seconds left. We're going to give it one last turn just to make sure nothing's stuck to the bottom. 8 minutes is up on the boil. Take the pasta, dump it in there. I'm going to set this nowhere. I'm just going to set that right there. Drain off the excess and then dump it back into the pan. Like that. Then it can go back onto the stove. I wouldn't put it directly onto the burner because then you're going to burn your noodles. But here's where I will then put in my spaghetti sauce, or what's the other one? The green stuff. I don't know, whatever. And then if you like sun-dried tomatoes, this is where you throw these in. Delish. You make the oven shut up, and just give that a little stir, because what that's going to do is you don't have to put your spaghetti sauce in a thing and heat it up or something like that. The noodles that's gonna do that all on its own. What our chicken parmesan looks like in there. See what it's like. It's almost there. See, all that cheese is almost all melted. So we're just about there. So let's pull the chicken out of the oven. Absolutely delicious looking, amazing. Come right off of this because that's the reason why you use Parm. That's not going to be a mess at all. Dump your pasta right next to it. And we have an amazing, delicious chicken parmesan with your choice of pasta, whatevs. And yeah, so sit down with whoever you made this for and enjoy it. So I'm gonna do what every cooking person does once they've finished cooking what they were cooking, and I'm gonna take a bite of it to show you that I actually am gonna eat it. Oops. How about right there? Okay. Here we go. Nice little cut right there. A little bit of pasta. This is going to be so hot I'm going to burn my mouth. It's so fucking perfect. Each time I make this, I make it a little bit different. Sometimes it sits in the oil a little bit longer, it gets more oil. Sometimes it gets a little crispier, sometimes it gets a little just not as crisp. It's all good. But I think I like the crispier a little bit more. So that's it. If you got any questions, I'm happy to answer. But man, if you follow these instructions, you can have chicken Parmesan done in about, God, I don't know how long that took. It's probably 15 minutes. Not hard to make. It makes a really good impression, I think. So there you have it. My little gift to you, jerks. Make yourself some chicken parm.